12 poorest towns to live in Texas. Texas is certainly not one of the poorest states, no. It is actually a very powerful state economically. This explains the fame and popularity it enjoys in the comity of states in the US. In fact, the cities in Texas are among the most glamorous. While the GDP and other economic indicators of the state may be looking good, there is a large number of very poor towns there in Texas. Even the affluent towns in Texas are arguably the most dangerous, with high crime rates. This situation is what some analysts consider to rank the state's poverty rate as the second highest of any large industrial state. Let's now present in this video the 12 poorest towns to live in Texas. 12. Lone Star. Lone Star is in Morris County with a total area of about 2.0 square miles. It's a very small town with the most recent estimated population of 1,482. If you compare this with its previous two population census figures of 1,631 and 1,581, you'll discover that it has experienced a decrease of 1% and 3.1% respectively in its population. What do you think could account for a decrease in the population of a town besides war, natural disaster, or an epidemic? Poverty. There's no gainsaying the fact that Lone Star is one of the poorest towns to live in Texas, and people are moving out of the town steadily. 11. Alton. Alton is located in Hidalgo County, with its most recent population of 18,105, which has witnessed a 46.7% increase in the last 10 years. The town has a total area of 7.31 square miles. It's certainly not a small town, as it's a lot bigger than many on this list. It should be called a city, but it's one of the poorest towns in Texas. This town has a huge poverty problem. About a third of the population lives in sub-poverty or below the poverty line. It has a median income of just $32,495. Its education and housing challenges are immersing it deeper into poverty. 10. Rio Grand. The Texan town of Rio Grande is among the poorest towns to live in Texas, according to a study conducted recently. Health-wise, it's not doing well, as it was once found to have the highest rate of cervical cancer and child obesity. Economically, it has the lowest income, according to the study. The authors of the study attributed the high poverty rates to its sharing a border with Mexico. In the study, one-third of the residents aged 25 and older had only a high school education. The town, that occupies a total area of 11.35 square miles, was founded in 1848 after 2 years of settlement there. 9. Raymondville. Raymondville, the county seat of Willacy County, was formed in 1904 by Edward Burleson Raymond, one of the foremen of the King Ranch and who owned the Las Majadas Ranch. This is one of the poorest places to live in Texas. Though commodities are cheap here, the purchasing power is too low, owing to the low per capita income. Ironically, there's a good number of wealthy individuals here, but the inequality gap is too wide. That makes it ranked the 7th poorest place in Texas. It has some public schools, but the quality of education being offered is below the US standard. 8. Robstown. Robstown also is one of the poorest places in Texas. This location in Nueces County was founded about 1906 and named for Robert Driscoll, hence the name Robstown, or the town of Robert. Robstown is home to the lowest income residents in the state. Interestingly, this is one of the best places to buy a home in Texas, as home prices are low. Yet, what's the benefit of acquiring a property, even if free of charge, in a place where there's no economy to support livelihood and where your safety isn't guaranteed? That's why many people having something to do at Robstown feel that they're better off renting. 7. Commerce. Commerce in Hunt County, Texas, is situated on the eastern edge of North Texas. It's on the heart of the Texas Blackland Prairies, located far northeastern part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. This is one of the poorest places to live in Texas. According to recent statistics, 36.6% of residents of Commerce live below the poverty level based on the national minimum income, while it's only 13.6% for the state. In Commerce, 42.8% of high school graduates and 53.7% of non-high school graduates live in poverty. Also, 29.8% of disabled males and females reside in its poorest area. 6. Marlin. Marlin in Falls County, with a recent population of 5,462, is the next on this list of the poorest towns to live in Texas. Marlin has been the county seat of Falls County since 1851. The 76th Texas state legislature nicknamed this place the hot mineral water city of Texas. That, however, hasn't improved its economic condition. If you're looking for an affordable place to raise a family, Marlin should be struck off your list because the income isn't commensurate with the cost of living. Although Marlin is a family-friendly place to live due to very low rates of violence, it's a poverty-stricken town and there are barely any jobs there. 5. Center. Center in Shelby County, with its most recent population of 5,221, is the county seat of its county. Its naming was not due to its location in Texas, but to its location near the center of Shelby County near the Louisiana border. The median home value here is only $52,900. The unemployment rate is 13.6%. It should certainly be on this list of the poorest towns to live in Texas. Besides, it lacks amenities such as public transportation. 4. Carizo Springs. Let us add Carizo Springs in Dimmitt County to this list of the poorest towns to live in Texas. It is the seat of its county seat and its most recent estimated population is 5,470. This town, that derived its name from the local springs named by the Spanish, could readily pass for the poorest place in the state, with streets littered with potholes. The median home price is under $60,000. The local economy depends on a low minimum wage. With a livability score of 56 out of 100, Carizo Springs is poor. Its crime rates are 15% higher. 3. Prairie View. Prairie View, located on the northern edge of the Houston, the Woodlands, Sugarland metropolitan area, is in Waller County. With a population of 8,184 at the 2020 census, it is one of the poorest towns in Texas. With a livability score of 55 from 100, Prairie View is poor. Yes, its crime rates are 59% lower than the state's average. The cost of living there is 3% higher. Unfortunately, Prairie View ranks as the poorest place in Texas, no thanks to a combination of factors such as low pay and a lack of jobs. It has the third lowest median household income in Texas and the highest poverty rate. 2. Detroit. Detroit is a small town in Red River County with the most recent population of 704. This town is among the poorest in the country, with a poverty rate of 36.8%, which is more than double the US average. The high poverty rate in this town is due to a lack of education, as almost a quarter of the population is largely illiterate. Only a third or less of the town's residents hold a high school degree. The average house in this town is worth $38,000. Yet more than half of the residents cannot afford a home. 1. Barstow. Coasting home, we find ourselves in Barstow in Ward County. It is qualified to be on this list of the poorest towns to live in Texas. An insight into its poverty state can be seen in the population decrease it experienced within 10 years. According to the 2020 census, there were 265 people, 140 households and 88 families in this town. This is significantly lower than its situation in the 2000 census, when there were 406 people, 146 households and 108 families in the town. Clearly, poverty is driving people away from Barstow, the town with a poor livability score of 54 from 100. With convincing proof, it will qualify as the very poorest town to live in Texas. These 12 poorest towns in Texas are favourites of some people. What is your own view or feeling about these towns? Please share with us in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.